Hello everyone, welcome to Christ Center Ironworks. Today we're going to be going over a pretty simple technique to take and help out beginners with low-cost setups. I'm going to be teaching the method that I use for hot rasping. It should be a fun video, quick video, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Alright, so here we are. First things first, before we get started with any sort of hot rasping, I want you all to know that hot rasping does not mean that you have to have a farrier's rasp to take and do the rasping. You can find any sort of old wore out file. This is just an old bastard cut file, half round. It will work the same, although it will have a much finer filing because of the smaller teeth, as you can tell, comparatively to the hot rasp here or the hoof file. This will really hog off the material, but it will also leave pretty good scuffs and scratches into your pieces. So I use a little bit of both. If I have a lot of material I'm trying to remove, say I just really kind of gotta let the forge get away from me and maybe I burn a tip of something and I just really want to just rasp that down real quick, I'll use the coarse part of this horse rasp. Otherwise, the main part of this rasp I use is actually the back side, or the not so coarse side. I find that it helps me to glide along the work a little quicker and still be able to remove a decent amount of material, but without the big rough cut look in the surface finish. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I clip over and we actually do the hot rasping. So you don't have to have, like I said, a hoof rasp. You can find these, you can buy them. They're really fairly economical. They're cheaper than a belt grinder. And if you luck out, you have a local farrier that's close by. A lot of times they'll get rid of these when they're almost brand spanking new. And in fact, if you hold on just 1 second, here's one that's practically new, or would be new in my book. Really sharp, but it's not sharp enough for horses' hooves. So they pretty much pitch them, or they'll save them up and sell them as scrap. So if you luck out into these, or maybe you already have a bucket of these can be a great addition or a tool, a great addition to your toolbox for smithing. On this one here, I've actually just kind of bent this around. I heated this end up with a torch and just bent it around. That way I can hang it from my anvil stand or on a hook. You don't have to do that. You can do a traditional file handle if you like. They also sell specific handles for farrier's rasp, which are definitely handy, a lot more handy than just the hook. Or you can use it just as is. So there's a little bit about the rasp that we're going to be using. I won't be using this rasp. I'll be using this one. This is my predominant one. And then I'll use this for a little finer work, and you'll see how that turns out. So next up, we'll go to the vise, and I'll show you how this works. So here I've got a piece of 1/4 inch by 1 inch, 1/4 inch thick by 1 inch wide piece of flat stock in the vise. It's got a pretty sharp little burr on there. I'm just going to show you what roughly we're going to be doing cold, and so this way when I put it in hot, we'll be all go mode, so this way you can see how that works. Essentially what we're going to be doing, but with the large rasp, is we're going to be taking almost, if you look at the file, we're going to be going kind of at a 45-degree angle, not quite 45, probably more like a 30-degree angle across the plane as we file. The other piece that I got heating up in the fire actually has a diagonal cut on it, so this way I can show you the effectiveness and how much material you really can move with a rasp. This is a good thing to kind of take note of, for the guys that like to make axes and tomahawks, and the people who like to make knives and things like that, especially when you're first starting out and you can't afford all the fancy equipment in the world. It helps to get good at these hand techniques to get you close, so this way you can do your finish and fine filing after heat treat. I just want to show you how quickly you can remove material. So you don't always have to take and have the most modern piece of equipment in the world. A lot of times you can get by, and sometimes it's even quicker to do it quickly by hand versus maybe risking screwing it up with an angle grinder or something of that nature. So we're going to be making a cross cut like this. All files cut all files cut on the push stroke. They do not cut on the pull stroke. So contrary to popular belief, you don't sit here and just let this lay on here and go back and forth like this. This does nothing. All this does is dull in your teeth of your file. Since we're hot rasping, not going to make much of a difference anyhow. You know, eventually you're going to ruin the temper and the teeth and whatnot running it across super hot metal like that. But on a good file, when you're doing cold filing, and even the practice of doing hot filing, I still maintain the same, where you take strokes this way, and if you feel the need of getting rapid succession or you see me pull back, I'm actually only barely skating the material, and I'm only applying pressure on the push stroke, not on the pull stroke. So always apply pressure on the push, and then let off pressure on the pull stroke. And that's how it should go, like that. So if you do that and you keep nice even pressure, you'll watch this come down real quick, even on cold filing or hot filing. But we're going to do the hot rasp today and show you how it's done. So the next clip, I promise, we will actually be hot filing. So check it out. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to get this locked in the vise here. Hopefully this is in view and good in view there. I'm going to use the Farrier's rasp. Yeah, it's in good view. And I'm going to use the coarse. So the trick is to use quick strokes. You do not want to go slow with this, otherwise it hangs up. So you're not really bearing down on the material, especially with the thick pieces. You're just coming down with it there at a slight angle and working effectively. So hopefully the camera caught all that, but now you can see how quickly I took that down. And that was moving a lot of material. So now I'm using the finer side of the thing. The piece is at a nice dull red heat. This is a good finishing heat. Ooh, that's squeaky. Anyways, as you can see, nice 30-degree angle. Good finishing heat to finish off with your finer file. So I'm not going for perfectly flat across plane, just enough to give you guys the ideal. So there you can see that there. At this heat, this is now down to about a black heat or so. Now you can actually come in here with an even finer file yet and better refine that piece. And if you want, you can do some draw filing. Draw filing is essentially pulling the file back towards yourself, but in a scratch method, going opposite of your original grain of your original file strokes to even out that surface finish. I know you can't see it there. Let's see here. I'm going to take you guys on a wild ride for a second. Alright, you're going to be sick. I know, sorry. Moving this tripod around. But right there, you can see how shiny that is. Pretty nice surface finish from what it started as. Move this over just a little more. Those of you that have motion sickness, I apologize already. So, anyways, you can see how shiny that is. I'm not even done yet. I could go to a much finer file and still do the hot rasping. I'm not going to file on this anymore. It's starting to squeal on you. But anyways, you can see how nice and clean that makes this piece here, this end of this bar, in pretty short order. So makes it real quick. It's a real quick order. Hopefully this is a quicker video than some of my last ones. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, this is a great technique for all beginners to learn. It's a quick way of creating nice surface finish, even finishes on tooling of any sort. made this a while back, and I might make a video on it, is a planishing stake. And I may end up making a video about how to make a planishing stake that fits in the hardy hole. But that was all done by hand with a hot file, and then afterwards with a little bit of regular filing and then some sandpaper just kind of across the top. And you see you can get a pretty good finish. Of course, this is no substitute for good equipment or good tooling. If you got a belt sander, great, use it, man. More power to you. If you do not, this is a great option for anybody who's looking at having a lot of cleanup work on either a knife bevel or, you know, the hammer face or something, or maybe a chisel or something that you're working on. It's a great way to remove material, be fairly accurate, and clean up your hammer marks before you finish the piece. So anyways, hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Hit that like button and subscribe if you like to see more content like this. And we'll catch you on the next one.